This story has been brewing all over the place about prototype being, a new prototype game being developed. Also, for some very interesting reason, the game also has a sale going on it. Now, this sale that they're showing here basically took place a while back. I'm not, gonna, pretend like I didn't see the sale. In fact, I remember trying to get Prototype One. It wouldn't work on my what you call it. The game would not work on my PC. The PC version of the first game has, I think, it has an issue of some kind, right? And then the second game, that one actually did fire up, and that actually does work. In fact, I think if I check my Steam library here, I think I bought the Xbox version for Prototype 1 so I could actually play the darn game and, understand, oh, what the heck is going on? And then I bought the, version from Steam. Let me show you guys here, which is weird. Actually, I have them both. Interesting stuff. I have them both here on PC. But weird, the first Prototype game is playable on the Steam Deck, but on PC, the darn thing won't launch. So I think I got the Xbox version or so. Yeah, that's, or maybe bro, can't remember what the heck I did. But the story here is that this game is going to be, basically getting another game that brings back the first, what's the name? The first protagonist of the story. Another thing that's very interesting is there are conversations about some leak or some Oblivion game that's going to be coming pretty soon. Everybody is talking about this. And I think what's going on here is there is a site where Xbox is raising the stakes by dropping more content, importing more content from old content, and is probably going to keep this cadence leveraging the Bethesda library and leveraging the Activision library of old. This is not just the new stuff. This is, they're going to basically dig deep into the classic stuff because the data is showing that brand name is now some kind of a currency in terms of when they're releasing and who's releasing a game. This is what's going to basically get you across the finish line, according to the data that we're seeing all over the place. Well, I guess News Use Data, the one that came out, they were like, oh, players still like AAA games. I've also seen that, brand recognition from, I think, Matthew Ball's data as well, I think, is something that does play and help a lot of these games. Think about Monster Hunter World and so on and so forth. Not saying that new games cannot get it done, but it seems like for many, names are actually a big deal. So Jess Gordon writes here and says, Xbox and Bethesda are supposedly going to shadow drop an Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remake. Really? There's so much smoke at this point, there has to be a fire somewhere, but the build up to one of the industry's worst kept secrets doesn't make a lot of sense. For a while now, rumors of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion is getting some sort of, rumors that Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion is getting some sort of remake. There have been rumors. How did I miss that whole portion? If I recall correctly, it initially leaked with NVIDIA documents some years ago and was mentioned again in FTC documents leaked during the Activision Xbox acquisition court case. Then, throughout this year, various rumors from reliable tipsters like Nate the Hate has suggested that it's coming sooner rather than later. Now highly regarded elite journo Jeff Grubb. Oh, Jez is playing games right here. Jeff, get him. Jeff Grubb has reiterated his stamp of approval to the rumor during a recent Giant Bomb show via the excellent PSU.com. Let's go ahead and read the quote here. So basically, the last week of this month, next week essentially, the Oblivion Remake should shadow drop then. I've gotten separate confirmation that's going to be the case. So it will shadow drop the last week of the month. I've checked in with some of my own sources who corroborate the above information too, although I've been unable to get enough independent sources to confidently put a report of my own out there. But Jeff Grubb and Nate the Hate don't miss. Coupled with the FTC documents, previous leaks from former supposed employees, and other rumors, it's first to assume that enough smoke to fuel the flame of this one. But why? This is one of those reasons publishers undoubtedly hate leaks at the end of the day. For those who know, Oblivion is something of a legend. Another landmark RPG in the Bethesda canon, building on Morrowind and preceding the similarly legendary Skyrim. This one says, it was his first experience in that regard. The game revolves around uh, Daedric cults opening up portals to Elder Scrolls Hell equivalent, all the Imperial blah, 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 which is why I question the virtue of shadow dropping a legend like this without any real build-up or marketing. Oblivion already got some de facto enhancements on Xbox Series X thanks to things like FPS boost and backward compatibility, but rumors have suggested this is a full Unreal Engine enhancement remake in partnership with Virtuos. Virtuos has worked on all of these other games, blah, 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 and, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, the thing that is being said here and the thing that's actually being alluded to in this particular regard is, quite interesting because I cannot wrap my mind around, why Xbox would do a shadow drop for a game like that. That's a game that I've, heard people actually say, man, this game is a game that's basically, for many of them, they said it was a life suck. That's how they described the game. And so when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, so this is supposed to be like a big deal, apparently. But if you think about Xbox's year so far, and if you think about Xbox's library so far, you'll see how this is probably not that big of a deal for them to shadow drop a game in this current economy. Their target and their goal is software, and they have a lot of it, right? And so with this in mind, what that software is designed to do is designed to bolster Game Pass. This is why I suspect that Game Pass pricing is going to now quietly creep up in light of what PlayStation and Nintendo are doing. However, those of you who have your subscription still all the way down, I think my subscription ends in May or so. But at that point, I'm just going to get PC Game Pass because it's going to be cheaper. I'm going to forget and abandon the console version of it just so I can get that version. That's what happened last time because the 3-month one that you could get, they've gone ahead to change it up. Somebody was asking me, I was like, yeah, that was always going to, basically go away because Xbox looked and saw how valuable, people were basically leveraging Ultimate. So again, if you're on Xbox or through the platform, might be time to start thinking about PC because I think the price differential is the fact that PC is not getting the online play, cost. Plus, they're wooing PC customers anyways. They're trying to get our monies. So you might as well, maybe start thinking about that as the next generation rolls around. But if you notice, there are more games that are going to be coming into the service that it's going to be impossible for anybody to say anything like, oh, what games are actually on Game Pass? Like that statement, people are going to eat crow. I'm telling you, how they want it, smoked, fried, baked, cooked, raw if they want, that crow is going to be served as to the value of Game Pass being almost insurmountable. And what's crazy is, if they should keep the Game Pass prices for potentially another 12, months, which is basically this cycle of them putting these games out there, I really think there is no case that can be made for any other platform when it comes to the consoles on why you should even bother with them. Because if you play games of the demographics that most of us that listen to these kinds of videos actually do play, it's a no-brainer that you're going to probably be thinking at some point why Game Pass even exists. Not saying you're going to go ahead and subscribe, but I can't say the same for those on, PlayStation. I think many of them will probably break ranks in terms of the way value actually is flowing out there. Because think about the person who wants to play RPGs. Think about the person who wants to play shooters. Think about the person who wants to play specific titles that they're seeing being sold for money on their platform. And I'm talking full price. It's a very weird, business proposition, but it's a business proposition that always has made sense if you think about wanting to actually, cop money. You got to put your games on places where players are going to play those games. In fact, right now, we're still seeing that trend and that pattern where PlayStation games are pretty much encircling, weird enough, the Xbox games, are encircling the PlayStation games. I think Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, the big version, has already launched. That's the, premium edition that had early access. Hey, imagine that. That was actually one of the leads in the pre-order. So you don't see it in the pre-order anymore. So stuff is moving up. Doom has now moved up. Age of Empires. Oh my goodness. This game is coming. And it's also on the pre-order list, if you get what I mean. But guess what? The person who's actually on Game Pass doesn't have to sit there and be waiting. If you think waiting is fine, I think it's okay. But Many PlayStation fans mocked and laughed and said, why? They say PC Master wait. That's what they called, PC gamers. And I'm thinking to myself, well, okay, if they say waiting is bad, then they need not be waiting. But if they say waiting is fine, then that's okay. We're just going to basically be getting, in quote, early access to all of Xbox games. There's no reason for any PC gamer right now that's looking at value proposition. None of them that I know of anyways are thinking about PlayStation, because PlayStation basically has hardware to play third-party games, but then when it comes to video games, right, which is supposed to be what these companies are basically, rallying together, none of them can come close to Xbox, because Xbox is basically taking its business to a whole different dimension at the end of the day. And you know what's even crazy? As these companies basically become hardware, outlets, because that's what they're going to be selling, Xbox is going to leverage that as well and sell more software. So games like Age of Empires and these other games first that I think don't necessarily have too much in terms of hardware demand, Xbox is going to be shipping those games to Nintendo's Switch 2 as well. So this kind of a zero-sum game that they've decided to engage in my opinion, is one that really does work, and it funds their business. So I'm, really looking forward to the Nintendo Switch ports, because I think if these, escapades that Xbox is engaging in gets profitable, it may continue to keep the price of Game Pass reasonable. Something that I cannot overstate how much I would like that. Because I'm here for value. I know some people love to, talk about, we like quality and blah, 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 blah. And I agree with you. You do like quality, don't you? But, PlayStation gamers, apparently, they like quality too. Is this what PlayStation gamers call quality? If it is, then I guess, perhaps quality is being given away for a less, for a less demanding amount out here on the Xbox side. Interesting stuff. I guess this whole thing speaks for itself. Talk to me in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you all so much. Peace out.